Okay, going to start another showing of the orbs that I took pictures of last night on September the 26th, 2017. Using this camera that usually gives me this patch, well, as of lately. And if you've seen my other videos, you will see what the patch looks like, and it moves in front of the orb so that it's hard for me to get a picture without running always to the side of it so I don't get the patch in the picture so much. Last night, the patch was no longer doing that. I think I got one picture of it, but it had settled down and it wasn't moving about like it was the other day. When I get to a picture that shows it, I will tell you I think that is what it is now. I don't know why. What happens in this world happens. I never really hated the patch, but it did get in the way of me taking pictures of other parts of the orb that were looking real interesting, and I would get ready to take their picture, and here comes the patch. So I didn't have that problem last night when I took these pictures. And they're very colorful. And here's more of my little X's. There was a lot of them. Now, I showed this series, these morph. Okay, see, that's the same ones. They're looking like an X. But they just look like not an X, like just a hole or something. So I took a series of pictures of the same little set here. And see, they look still different in this one. Then it went back to being like a little circle as I'm watching this. And this is the same spot. And now look at them here. They don't look like the little X. I don't think they're going to make the curved line balls. Here they are again. And then I just got tired of looking at them, so I went somewhere else to look at other things. It's so exciting moving around and looking at different things in different spaces. That's an interesting one. Now, you see how this looks like the patch again. If you've seen my other videos, you'll know, because I've shown it several times. In my very last video, I showed it. But it's more stationary now, not getting all over the place, following me, sort of. It's not doing that anymore. And that may be the patch. I took a couple of pictures of it. But see, it's kind of found its niche. It's staying more immobile, not moving around all over the place. Now these pictures are just the succession that I took them in. So you get one kind of picture that, well, I can stay in certain areas and focus more on the same little thing over and over, but I do tend to move around. Okay, now I started getting interested here, so I tried to follow these things because they're looking like the little X that's going to make the curved line balls. And that's one of them. And then I got into a cluster of them. And then I got it more centered and got several of them in this one. They're very interesting because there's all this light and color and everything. I think it's an intelligence, and I think it's self-programming itself to evolve into something. So when I look at the light, I have great respect for it. I mean, like even with the patch, I wasn't mad that it got in my way. I mean, I just couldn't understand. But I don't see it as something that's doing it on purpose, you know. I'm not going to make judgments about it. Nor am I going to try to control this that I'm seeing. Too often, mankind has wanted to understand something so he could put it to his uses, like the atom, and then making the atom split, and then using it to make the atomic bomb, using that kind of knowledge. And that is something that goes against the atom. The atom doesn't want to be used in that way. And we have to regard the feelings of this light. I know that sounds so strange. Something that's so small, but yet I think that it has purpose and it's an intelligence, and that sometimes when it shows itself to mankind, mankind will put it in a box and label it and coerce it, like, you know, colliding atoms together and doing all the kinds of things they do to try to ferret out its secrets. I think we can find the secrets out by being kind and appreciative and respectful to the atom. That's going to be my approach anyway. Now there's some curved line balls beginning to form there. I have a feeling that what I am filming, if I keep it up, you know, just periodically film it again and again, I will see an evolution of a sorts of what it's doing, because already I've seen that. There's videos and pictures I've made a couple of 3 years ago, and it's doing something different now than it did then. So this is an evolving thing. Now I got up real close in these pictures. This newest camera of mine is not like my old one. The old one gets a different spectrum of light that has a lot of little circles and tubes and things in it. And this newer camera doesn't hardly ever get those little circles. I mean, they get a few, but not like the other one did and does. See the curved line balls starting right there. And those curved line balls are lengthening out. So they're not such little squatty balls. They're getting kind of, lengthening out kind of like a pencil. So they'll take a different shape eventually, I'm assuming. Now I saw this black part here and I kept saying, what is that? So I got a different angle to it and I saw it there. I said, I think that makes a circle. And I kept looking and I got right to where I did see it did make a circle. So I took several pictures of it. I'm calling these series of videos I'm doing lately Manifestation 101, 102, just going on and on, because I think the central theme that I'm looking at is something coming into manifestation, into our 3D world from a light world. And maybe what I'm looking at is more real than our reality that is mostly, well, it is illusion, and so are we. We're illusion within it. But I do think that when we can wake up within the illusion and know some things about it, then we can start healing the illusion. Because the illusion is becoming very ill. All the stuff going on in our world, all the suffering and pain and war and the weather upheavals, it may be that we can do something about that. And if we do, it's going to be that we do it with our thoughts, as well as maybe some other methods, but our thoughts are very important. Now there's a very good beginning of the curved line balls. And see how they've turned into that? Some people would say, well, this is light refraction. Well, I don't think light would organize itself into these curved line balls. That's not something it would do. You wouldn't. A scientist wouldn't think it would do that. I see there's some forming there too. Sometimes when I think about how one person can do something very important and it not be recognized, even by those around them. It's just that people think, well, I'm just one person, what can I do? I can't make a difference. But yet, if we won't think that way, and we keep on believing and using our imagination in a good way, well, that could all change. Because we're working not with just other people helping us, we're working with other invisible entities helping us, I do believe. I feel like I get that kind of support. And lately, that kind of support has made me feel a whole lot more comfortable. because it's uncomfortable when nobody understands what you're interested in or seems to want to even look at it, and you feel kind of alone and neglected and uninteresting. But now my communication with the light is advanced in my own personal way of hearing advice for me. I mean, I can't speak for others, but I'm feeling camaraderie with those that I talk to in spirit, who never give me their names, never, hardly ever. And I think I understand why. It may be that if you get a name, the people that do get interested in what you're looking at, they start this kind of religious zeal for that name and try to make a religion of it, which is oh so bad to do. Organization always kills. It always kills out the spirit that the organization started with. So I'm not going to fall for that. I don't want to be anybody's guru or anyone that I contact this way to be worshipped, because that's not what they want. And they want each individual to seek and know that they themselves can be empowered. They don't have to look to another one to do it for them. They may get some advice and get some good ideas from others, but eventually they've got to take the reins in their own hand and spell the word guru. G, you are you. See, that's the answer. It's you who are the guru. It's in the spelling there. G, you are you. So don't think that you can't be all in your connection with spirit that you need to be, and that the answers that come to you will be the ones that you need. I read a lot of books, and they have a lot of ideas, and some I resonate with and others I don't. I read them though, and I don't know what other people resonate with or don't, but I've learned that if you don't resonate with it, you don't have to get emotional about, oh, this is so wrong or this is evil. Just keep it as a thought that you put in a box and put on a shelf and up in a closet in your mind, and you might take it out someday and look at it again, but until then it's just some information that you might or might not use. But don't give it too much importance, because we're all so individual, and everything is precisely individual for us if it resonates with us. Our feelings do matter, and maybe they're the only things that matter. It's how we feel about a thing. But our emotional body we need to do a little work on, not to get overly emotional about anything. I was listening to a video where the man said, our thoughts are electric, but our emotions are magnetic. And I thought, well, that kind of makes sense to me. Now that looks like a little bit of the patch right there I got, because it had that kind of look to it. And there again. Oh, got to the end. I'm going to exit out of here. And I see I've gone 20 minutes. Back to library. And I will show you. I'm going to see if I can find it. So bear with me here. That's the very ones I was looking at. Okay, here's the patch. On another day I took this and the patch would just show up over and over. And there it is, the whole shape of it right there in that little one. And I want to show you something more. The problem is I'm getting so many pictures that there's another picture of the patch. I'm getting so many pictures it's hard to organize them or remember where I put things. And there's another one of the patch. I'm going to show you one thing and talk about it before I end this, which I will end pretty soon now. I think I know where it is. Oh, here it is. Okay, this is something that I made and put on my wall because I used to look at light and I would see planes on different levels. I don't know how to say it. I mean, it's like if you were in a cave and the wall went up one way and then some places the wall went another way, that was like this world of light was. Like it could be vertical to me, it could be horizontal, it could be overhead, it could be to the side, but each was a little world of light and color combinations, and it looked like a net. And there was a big fuzzy thing in it one time that I tried to represent there. It kind of reminded me of Indra's net of jewels that I've heard of but not really investigated enough yet. But anymore, when I look at light, I don't see that. I've moved on from seeing that to not seeing it. Don't know why. But I saw it enough that I thought, well, I'm going to make a replica of it. So I did. I'm always making things. Let me see if I see any more really interesting. Here's some more of the curved line balls forming there. I see they're lengthening. And you don't see the whole ball anymore. You see just parts of it, like you don't know how long it really goes. There's several pictures in here of that. Back to library. Sometimes I'm sure people regard me as a little obsessed about this. Okay, here's one I want to show you this. This is the patch. And this yellow thing, because you see when I'm looking at this, it looks like it's all in layers. And sometimes something will move over another layer, but not really actually interact with it because maybe it's not on the same level. Maybe some of the colors will show through in the patch, but when it met this yellow part, I think it was on the same level. And the yellow part looks like it's puncturing right into this patch. So that told me that in this world things do touch. And I think it just springs right back to how it was before when something touches it or goes through it or punctures it. I don't know, but I get the feeling that it does. And see, that's the yellow thing still going further into that patch. Because there's the patch still there, and there's a big missing portion out of it where it's pushed in. Okay, well, I will end this for now. and I'll keep people updated on my new discoveries. Not that I can tell you much about them, except what they look like to me. And I'll talk to you another time. This is the Dove Lady, over and out.